All of us at the What Is Up podcast have noticed a disturbing trend that we want to bring to your attention. Due to all the amazing content our guests provide, each episode has multiple parts. Unfortunately, the views get less after part 1, as if people are getting abducted by aliens just for tuning in to parts 2 and 3. Now listen, I promise that's not the case.
What's that sound?
Jimmy, please, I'm trying to do a show here.
But what if we do need to do just one part, to stop them from getting abducted?
You seriously think people got 2 to 3 hours to sit down for one episode? Didn't think so, but I'll tell you what. Bubba has been kind enough to put together this little teaser to show you what you will be missing if you don't listen to part 2 with Ryan Nesbit. Now, let me warn you, now that Bubba's almost off the shop floor completely and is sitting in front of a computer at work, he thinks he's some kind of video editor expert now. You be the judge. Enjoy.
Everything gonna be alright, man. Marley's faith might have been in the happy stuff.
The devil's lettuce, Satan's spinach.
Well, I plan to hang out with him in heaven. I hope Johnny Cash. I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan. Some tall guys packed into a Geo trying to find the ladies. I think we...
Oh, my goodness.
Maybe we had the wrong car.
Yeah, that's not a chick magnet.
I'm so strong.
Oh, yeah.
I'm lifting weights.
I got showed up by my grandpa.
I mean, you're way stronger upper body than me, but you knock my glasses off my face. I'm coming for you. Pick on people like, oh, you pansy. I married my best friend. Whatever. That's gross. That's turned. I'm not going to sing. That's all you
I think
get.
you just started. Wow.
Facebook friends, but when you need someone, is someone knocking at the door? Or is it just thumbs up? This is a good one. This will draw in the weirdos like me.
On the What Is Up podcast, you're saying Ryan Nesbit has Rain Man tendencies?
Just get back to planet reality. That's all I ask of Hawkeye fans.
Do we have your attention now? Here comes the best part 2 of an episode you almost never heard. And I promise you're not going to get abducted by aliens. Hey, Bubba, should we put a disclaimer in there about, alien abductions?
No, they can listen at their own risk.
Okay. Here's your host, Bubba Seaman.
Thank you, everybody. All right. Hey, let's get into part 2 with Ryan Nesbit. If you missed part 1, you're going to want to go back. I mean, you can maybe listen to this one, but it's going to make more sense if you go back and listen to the first one. We really talked about some important stuff about mental health and things he's passionate about and why he does the things he does for people he doesn't even know. Why does he dedicate his life to improving mental health of the kids in our schools today, or adults that have struggled with this kind of stuff, or veterans? Go back and listen to part 1. I'm sure you'll be encouraged. You'll find some truth. You'll find some encouragement in there. So, and then come back and listen to part 2. On this part 2, we're going to get into the fun stuff. We're going to keep it light here in the beginning, and we're going to do the segments. As always, I start with the Dumb Dad segment, and I am proud to announce I don't have anything for it. So between the last episode with Caden Barons and this episode with Ryan Nesbit, I didn't do anything stupid. Well, I probably did, but it wasn't a major one, so I'm not going to share it because nothing's coming to mind. So we're going to start with the Pastor Tommy segment. You guys all know that we had a pastor down there at FBC in Dunkerton. Pastor Tommy is a big movie guy, and he always said he hopes when he gets to heaven that there is a movie theater room, and you can choose to watch anything from history, biblical or not. I think he always kind of wanted more biblical stuff. He wanted to see things from the Bible, see it play out. How did it actually happen? But I opened it up. I say this could be anything. So Ryan, you are a believer in Jesus. You know that if you get in a car accident on your way home today, I hope not, but you know where you're going. If you get there, when you get there, if there is a movie theater room there, what would you want to see played out?
Now stay with me. This is a little weird because I'm a little weird. I'm just reading what I wrote down. Okay, there's a dude in the Bible named Lazarus, who the Bible says was raised from the dead. Mm-hmm. So it's a big story of Mary, Martha, Jesus. This is where I think Jesus actually wept, the shortest verse in the Bible.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
I'm blending because I always challenge high school kids in youth group. They're like, I can't memorize any Bible verses. I'm like, Try 2 words. Jesus wept. They're like, oh, that's a whole verse? Yeah, that's a whole verse. Well, I can do that.
Yeah.
So Jesus wept. But the reason I would pick Lazarus being raised from the dead, I really want to talk to Lazarus because when he had been really bummed, because like he was in heaven, he died. He should have been in heaven.
Okay.
And now Jesus comes and does this miracle, and now he's back on earth. That's like the worst. To me, that's the worst thing that could ever happen.
Yeah.
Bubba's eyes are rolling back in his head right now. Like, I never even thought about that.
I love when people make me think. It doesn't happen that much. I mean, I think what is up a lot, like when I see crazy stuff, but I don't. That is a good one. Caden Barron's had some good ones too. Wow, yeah, he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys are wondering what we're talking about, if you want to see it, Chosen Season 4, which is out now, I believe that is going to be an episode this season. And you guys know the reason I like The Chosen is because the creator came right out and said, this does not replace reading the Bible. This is our interpretation of things. And it's been a super big encouragement to people to realize that the people that Jesus chose to be around him, they all had issues. None of us are perfect. There is no perfect church. If you find that church, don't join it because you're going to mess it up because we're all sinful. So, but yeah, that's a good one. He was dead. And Jesus raised him. So, oh man, that would be the worst. Yeah, but there's people that have different theories about things. They think, yeah, your physical body's dead. I know the Catholics really think something different, and I got Catholic friends, people I love, good people, but I know they kind of have some different views on that medium time there.
Right.
So, okay, you'd like to talk to Lazarus, see.
I'm just curious.
Okay.
I don't 100% know what heaven's going to be like. I believe I'm going to this place called heaven, but I think it's going to be so much better than I can ever imagine because I'm not God. Like, I hope I'm like running all the time in heaven.
Just pull the whole thing towards you a little bit. There you go.
Sorry, brother. I must have hit it.
No,
when
you're good.
I was doing sign language and hit my microphone. So I have no idea what heaven will be like. I think it's going to be awesome. I hope I can run unlimited miles and feel no pain.
Oh, unlimited cardio. Okay.
Right. So I have no idea if conversations like this would happen. Like, hey, Lazarus, I'm Ryan Nesbit from Buchanan County, Iowa. Pleasure to meet you, man. How did it feel when you were in heaven and then you weren't, and now you are again? Or if we're just all going to be so happy, I don't know.
Yeah.
But stuff like that piques my curiosity.
That's good.
Like
That's good.
So to put it in something like our terms, if I was in Florida, I'm comparing Florida to heaven, and then someone says, you have to go back to Iowa, and it's -40 and snowing,
Gotcha.
and I woke up, I'd be like, I want to go back to Florida, man.
Look at
I
that.
don't want to go to Iowa.
That's what we call a parable, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan just took a page out of Jesus' playbook. He just made a parable. He just, kind of taught a little lesson there real quick. That's good. Yeah,
So Lazarus, that was
the one you got.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right, next segment. I call this one the Stop Complaining and Do Something segment. And this is not directed at the youth of America today. This stop complaining, whenever you hear that, you think, oh, that's what adults are saying about kids. No, this is about us grown-ups. Stop complaining and do something. This is the segment, and you are a youth group leader, but if all of the teenagers in America were in your youth group, if you could squeeze them in at Jessup Bible Fellowship, or you had a big arena, you had the captive audience of every teenager in America. This is your chance to pour into them. Stop complaining about them, as not saying you do, but as we do as adults, and do something. What's your message to them?
I got 3 things. I'm going to go in backward order of significance. Number 3, I would say Bob Marley, 3 Little Birds, which I like Bob Marley. I think there's a movie now.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, Jamaica Man. But that song is, don't worry about a thing. Everything gonna be all right, man.
Okay.
That ain't Bible. That's not spiritual.
No,
I think Marley's faith might have been in the happy stuff.
the devil's lettuce, Satan's spinach, what else do
whatever
we
he was using. But it's a good tune.
Yeah.
Don't worry about a thing. Just relax.
All right.
That would be part of the message. The middle would be listen to me. I'm 48. I don't know everything, but man, I've seen some stuff. I've heard some stuff. I've lived some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So take that wisdom. I think I have some. There's some gray hairs.
Sure.
And listen. But that's too often, oh man, you're almost 50 and you grew up in the 1900s and you didn't have cell phones. And okay, I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to give you advice to help you the next 7 years of your life till your brain develops at age 24. which it doesn't until you're 24 or 25.
Yep.
So I would say just listen to me. And a big part of that, and I'll just say one right now, make sure we don't do a 10-minute rant on this, but I try faith-based youth group leader, but I really try to teach kids don't do the double mistake. So for instance, if you're going to go drinking, don't drive.
Okay.
So I'm not going to stand here and you have to look at the Bible and there's rules and you're 15 and you can't drink, because a lot of kids then are going to be like, oh, I'm going to go drinking for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because as soon as you say don't do something, oh, that must mean it's fun or awesome or whatever. I'm going to go try that. So I really try to preach, don't do a double mistake.
Okay.
If you're going to go drinking, don't drive. If you're going to go to a party where there's a lot of booze, whatever, maybe take that as an opportunity to be a driver for a whole bunch of people and get your buddies home safely. Or if you're going to be alone with your lady, okay, let's not 9 months later have me and lady and little Jimmy there too.
Yeah.
It's okay, we're going to screw up, but let's not do a boom, boom, double. And then you're like, oh man, my whole life's affected now.
Yeah.
So that kind of ties into the listen to me.
Okay.
Because a big part of the way I was raised was don't do this. And then it's like, oh, I'm doing that for
now
sure.
I want to do it.
I'm doing that for sure. Yeah. And then the number one in backward order is it's Jesus. The only hope is Jesus.
Right.
I want to try to reach as many people, and I know people from 1,000 different backgrounds and beliefs and who they love and what they want their name to be and all this stuff that we could talk about for 15 hours. And the final message from me is always, there's a lot of hopes in this world, but it's all going to kind of crumble.
Yeah.
Your family's going to crumble, your friends and this and that, and it all falls down to a guy on a cross.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
So you look for all these other hopes, and they always fail, and you're miserable, and you just keep going. Give it up. You just have to submit.
Yeah.
So that's the number one.
Nice.
So there's quite a range there, man. That might fire up some of the old believers on this podcast. They're like, he's referencing Bob Marley.
Went from Bob Marley to Jesus.
And then I think in the middle, he was telling kids to go drinking. No. You might have missed a piece there. We're just trying to be real with people.
I got the message. The message
that's
for
good.
sure. Yeah. Because you can always compound the crime. You can just stay down that road. You're saying, just you make one mistake doesn't mean you got to add to it and keep. Yeah, I got it.
It's often seen in sporting events. I got to be real careful so I don't say names. But in a lot of sports, let's just say basketball, maybe you make a mistake at one end of the court, and I see a lot of players where I'll instantly go, oh, they're for sure going to commit a foul at the other end within 12 seconds.
Right.
Here comes the double-double is what here's a mistake or a ref missed something, and you can see anger come, and we go to the other end, and or maybe in a football game.
Yep.
It's not just going to be one, it's going to be, they just got their shot blocked, they're going to foul for sure, and there's the whistle. And it's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah.
So it's the don't make the two.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing happened, breathe a little bit. Let's not make a double mistake.
Yeah, that's wow. That's spot on. The worst thing you can do is let one bad play or bad decision then affect you. You have to forget it. Cut your losses. Turn direction. Get out of there. I mean, what's the word for turn? It's repent. Oh my goodness, there's another Bible example. I told you guys, Bible speaks to all the best stuff we have in the world today. It really does. Okay, good. I like it. Wide range there. Okay, let's move on to the getting to know you segment. Now, this is the one I will try and not talk as much, and we'll run right through these. And this just helps the audience kind of get to know a little bit more about the background of you and what your tastes might be and what your experiences might be and all that stuff. So we'll start right here. If you could meet anyone in the world today, who would it be?
This is where they turn it off because I'm a big Nebraska Cornhusker fan.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. There's a lot of black and gold in this house, Bubba, and it's making me sick.
That's Kirk Ferentz's autograph up
right
there.
next to my head is a Ferentz football.
Yeah, the good one, Kirk, not Ryan.
Oh, yeah. It would be Tom Osborne. Most people call him Tom Osborne, former Nebraska football coach for 25 years. I like the Huskers for many reasons going back to teen years. But Tom Osborne is a huge man of faith, has written books. So many people would think, oh, he was always letting these thugs off. They'd get in trouble. if you dig deep into it and learn about him and read his books, he's trying to give dudes a chance in life.
He's building into their lives. Yeah.
So if you go back to 94 or 5, they never would have won the national title. The next guy in the game was pretty much just as good, and they were going to win. So Tom Osborne, he's still alive. He's old. He will probably be going home to heaven soon. I'm going to find a way to get to that viewing somehow because I've read his books. He has team mentoring. He has this huge thing in Nebraska and part of the Midwest about mentoring like teenagers or college students. So most people think, Tom Osborne, Nebraska football, whatever, crooks. This is a huge man of faith that has impacted so many lives. So I kind of look up to him as a hero.
Cool.
And I love them Huskers, and they're coming. They're coming for you, Hawkeyes. Beware.
In your defense, you did, I mean, you dated it back to the 90s when Nebraska was, had a heyday going on then. So it made sense that you liked them then. Just like we like the Hawks now. I mean, other than the defense, I mean, everyone knows we haven't been a good football team other than the defense. But but yeah, that is cool, man. I love looking for coaches like that, Ed Thomas type coaches.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I'm convicted right now on the spot. I have to admit, I grew up, I hated Deion Sanders. He was flashy, he was cocky, he was exact opposite of Bo Jackson, and he wasn't as talented. Bo Jackson was a tremendous baseball player and football player. Deion tried to do both, and he did do both, but he was not on the same level as Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, only player to play in both All-Star games, the Pro Bowl and the MLB All-Star game. Deion, Pro Bowl, no baseball All-Star game. He couldn't do it. No one can argue with that. But Deion as a coach now, I see these Twitter videos of his director of player personnel and the statements they're making. I mean, it's just like Tony Dungy and Ed Thomas and these guys. They are building into the lives of these young men. It is not all about football. It's about character. It's about faith. It's refreshing to see. So, yeah, Deion, I love you. If you want to come on, if this gets back to you, you can come on, buddy. We'll do it over Zoom.
I'm sure he's listening.
Yeah.
That would be way cool if you had Deion.
But I hated him. I just, everything he stood, you remember how he was, but
people are freaking. They're like, Ryan Nesbit. And next week, Deion
Sanders.
They're like, I don't think so.
No.
Maybe. You never know.
You never know. I'll figure out how to do a Zoom one, and I could get somebody big.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, how about anyone, maybe not in the world today, but in history of all time, if they're not with us anymore, there'd be somebody you want to meet?
Well, I plan to hang out with him in heaven. I hope Johnny Cash. I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan, and some people on here might be like, oh, man, he was a druggie and a boozer, and he's in hell for sure. You got to dig into the story. Johnny Cash, huge man of faith that actually went into a cave once to die by suicide, and June went in and got him in time. Read his books, dig into it. Huge man of faith. A lot of struggles in life.
Yes, sir.
But I got a lot of struggles in life. We all do.
Yep.
Man, his music, just listen to his music. It is a wide range of just ugly, deep despair. The Beast in Me is one of his songs. Mm-hmm. That's ugly, but I can relate to it.
Yeah.
But then he does a lot of gospel and hymnals and has some beautiful, it's a Johnny Cash. He just encompasses all ranges. I listen to him a lot because it just calms me down or fires me up, whatever I need.
Yeah.
Fantastic human.
He seems to resonate with young people today, too. I hear young people listening to him. And, he had that foundation, and he wandered from it, and he paid the price for it. And there was a lot of heartbreak and pain in his life. But, it come back around. I think they did a documentary. I think we bought it. Something American Icon documentary about Johnny Cash. Really good. Really well done. Definitely explains all that stuff. So, okay, moving on. First car, worst car. If they're both the same, then you're only going to tell me about one. If they're two different cars, you're going to tell me about...
I can remember 86 Chevy Cavalier. So I was born in 75. I must have got that when I was 16. Paid all my own money, cash. That's how things used to work. That's how it worked on my farm. You pay for your own stuff. That was the goal with my own kids till we got our oldest daughter. She bought a piece of junk, and I think I've put more into it.
That's the drawback to that.
It still rolls down the street. But so an 86 Chevy Cavalier, which ended up getting a lot of damage because we did some stupid stuff in high school and would try to put 11 people in a 5-person car and then put people on the roof and all that. And and then the radio got stolen, so I remember driving around with like AM, FM headphones on. That was my car radio.
Back in the car radio stealing days. I remember those days.
Those things happen.
Yeah.
And then the worst car, for some reason, kind of in my dark days, I bought a Geo Metro. Now, if you're listening, I'm 6'3". For some reason,
Picturing it in my head. You
I
look
thought
like an idiot.
like 45 miles to the gallon. I think I even had personalized plates that said like Nesbit. I was going through a goofy stage or something. That baby got some good gas mileage.
Oh, yeah, they did.
But that was an ugly, tiny car that got beat up with a lot of trips to bars, etc. And then windows wouldn't work, and then sometimes people went in the ditch. But a memory is we took that bad boy to Florida once, and the average height of the 4 guys was about 6'4". So if you want to try to envision, I'm not going to say their names because they're from the area, some tall dudes, and we got a flat tire, like going through Atlanta, Georgia, going about 80 mile an hour, and probably all should have been dead because there's like 7 lanes of traffic. And somehow I got that thing to the side of the road. I will never forget that.
That wasn't a mad dash to a Hawkeyes bowl game or something, was it, that I heard about?
No, I don't know what we were doing.
That wasn't that?
We must have got lost or something. But some tall guys packed into a Geo trying to find the ladies. I think we...
Oh, my goodness.
Maybe we had the wrong car.
Yeah, that's not a chick magnet. Oh, my goodness.
Saved me a lot of money on gas, though.
Yeah. Even if you did look like Bubba Smith from Police Academy, pulling out the seat, sitting in the back and driving it. Okay. I'm on record saying idols aren't good, but if you had a childhood idol other than Coach Osborne, who would it have been?
I think I'm going to go with my grandpa Russ, which is my dad's dad.
Okay.
Just because very quiet man. He probably passed away, I think I was a teenager. Low teens, but I can vividly remember working with him. You know, as you kind of get into junior high as a young man in high school, you start to think, I'm so strong.
Oh, yeah.
I'm lifting weights, and I'm an athlete, and I'm a starter on the basketball team, and look at me, I'm Dunkerton, Jessup, Wapsie, whatever.
Yep.
I'm a beast. And I remember rolling up electric fence wire with him. So if you don't know what that is, it's the one that you don't want to touch. Like, it'll give you a shock.
Yeah.
But when you turn it off, there's no current. So sometimes you have to roll it up on like this spool by hand, and it just kills your shoulders and forearms because you have to
turning motion
tight. You have to keep it tight while you're rolling. So we would have to go out and do like hundreds of yards of this, and I could go like 10 yards and would say, I need a break. And this like guy in his 70s would go like 50 yards. And it quickly tells me, maybe I'm not as big and tough.
You're not as tough as you thought you were, yeah.
I think I am.
Yeah, that old man strength is tricky. It really is. Farm strength is different than weight room. Yeah, I'm with you.
Puts you in your place pretty cool. I can bench 225 with the boys, but a guy 65 years older than me just rolled up wire 5 times as far as me.
I got showed up by my grandpa. That's humbling. Humble pie. Never tastes good.
Right.
You listening to that over there, JJ? There you go. He's shaking his head. He knows what's up. Okay, moving on. This is the part you've all been waiting for. I've teased it before. I teased it on his intro, all this stuff. We're going to hear what he has to say first, and then I'm going to jump in and share a memory. Most embarrassing moment or dumbest thing you ever did. And if they could be the same, they could be 2 separate things. I don't know. But I know you got something, especially, packing the guys in the Geo Metro, thinking that's going to attract ladies. That's pretty dumb. But I'm looking more for embarrassing. What is something you just,
There's a billion. I kind of went with a hard one, but hopefully somebody that's young learns a lesson from this. And I'm not going to swear on here, but the story is I did. In a high school basketball game my senior year, I had a lot of anger in me.
Okay.
A lot. Because this is 2 years after Roger died by suicide. I don't want to hurt people's feelings with this. The season was not going the way we wanted or I wanted. I was a beast, man. I'll play defense. I'll pound the boards. We'll just go with maybe people weren't quite passing to the post as much as they should be.
Okay.
A lot of 3 balls going up. We'll just say that. But in a high school basketball game in Maynard, Iowa, as a high school senior, it all boiled to a T. And from the court, in front of everyone, referees, teams, parents, fans, cheerleaders, I yelled the 4-letter F word, followed by everybody, real loud.
What?
Or something very similar to that. I think I said, beep, I'll shoot when I feel like shooting. because essentially I got to the point where I wouldn't even shoot. I would get a rebound and throw it back out and say, shoot another 3. I was so disgusted, and there was so much anger that had been brewing for years.
Wow.
And I just screamed it. Not a good idea. This is before like cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
But there were jaws dropped.
Did they toss you? Or technical?
My coach was young. I don't think I got a tee, and he was like, just go sit at the end of the bench. He was like a 24-year-old guy or something.
Yeah.
He didn't know what to do. And then I had to sit out some games, so I missed like the last home game, and then it went to the tournament time, and I played like 1 minute. And so control your emotions.
Yes.
There's the message. I see a lot of youngsters now with anger. I still have anger, but that's why I run. That's why I do push-ups. That's why I pray. That's why I breathe. That's why I listen to Johnny Cash. That's why I talk to my wife. That's why I talk to male friends about feeling. You got to breathe.
Yeah, there's a way to manage that.
I let it escalate. I should have, because that was the end of the season for me. So a good lesson for high schoolers, because there's a lot of people who got anger. It brews up. Are we going to positively deal with it, or are we going to tell 400 people to go beep themselves?
Wow.
Bad idea. Not Russ and Barb's proudest moment. We'll just say that. But we're trying now to help people.
Man, I'm going to have to bring that up. I have Russ come speak to the Awana kids every year.
Maybe not in front of them.
I'm going to have to ask him about that. You remember that? Look how good Ryan turned out. But at that moment, you probably thought.
He'd probably say, yeah, we were about to get rid of him at that. Like,
we're about to ship him off.
You go stay with your uncle and wherever.
Man. Well, I can relate to you. I mean, I'm surprised here you didn't get tossed. I got tossed from a football game once. Took a swing at a guy, which total stupidity. That shows you how dumb high schoolers are. I mean, you swing at a guy with a helmet and a face mask on. Why? Because he got under your skin. Because they were taunting you. Because they were calling you by name and they were making it personal. And apparently I still have feelings about that. But we'll move on. Most embarrassing moment. Now, this is the one everyone wanted to hear about. Okay. So I'm I don't know, probably high school junior. So you've been out of high school for a little bit. Mm-hmm. You remember the games, basketball games, Dunkerton basketball games in the old gym. We had no new gym. I mean, it was packed. Dunkerton basketball is a big deal. And we would pack in there. I mean, oh my goodness. And I'm at the top row, and another kid, I think he's a year older than me, put a popcorn kernel inside of a straw and blew air through it, just shot it, and it hit me right in the neck. And like you said, you're in high school, you got that I'm tougher than you mentality. And this kid was not a lineman. This kid, I know I could just... what I thought was just destroy this kid. And I puffed up to him. He was, obviously 10, 15 foot away from me, and he didn't back down. And it's like, oh, crap, he didn't back down. Well, I guess we got to do this from the top of the bleachers. And I tackled him. We went down all the way down to the front. You had to have been sitting towards the bottom because all I remember is we hit this guy going down. During the basketball game, mind you, this guy we hit, his glasses come flying off his face. I remember seeing them somehow or hearing them slide across the court floor. And by the time we made it to the court, this guy grabs me, picks me up, takes me through the back exit, which was not very far away. And he had me in a chokehold. Like, this dude was ticked off big time. And they had to stop the basketball game and just all this stuff. So we got tossed. We got a Saturday school, all that stuff. And the crazy thing is, you're a high school kid. You're stupid. You can't control your emotions. By the time they had escorted us back to the front of the building to kick us out, like, we shook hands when we met at the front door. Like, that was the stupidest thing we ever did. What did we just do? And, yeah, that was embarrassing. But, yeah, that guy that choked me, that was Ryan Nesbit. And who knew? Years later, we'd be good buddies and all that stuff. That's how God works.
It was in love, man. And that's during a time I was way away from faith.
Oh, I'm sure,
and
yeah.
You're way stronger upper body than me, but you knocked my glasses off my face. I'm coming for you. And they went on that. I was probably had to pay for. I was out of high school. So
you got hit in the back from people coming up from that. Probably didn't feel good at all.
I was probably sitting by a woman too. I just put you against the wall, and then I think a teacher came or something. But I was pretty excited. Like, you little punk high schooler.
Yep.
I don't care if you're bigger arms than me.
Yeah.
If a teacher don't get in here, I'm going to take a shot or something.
And so years later, I bring this up to you, and you had no idea. You're like, that was you?
That was you,
I'm like, yeah, that was me. The guy you asked to help take care of the food and the alive and running. The guy, yeah, that was me. That was me. So.
And then you and the other dude probably met at the front door and were like, hey, man, you want to go hang out? It was probably like just a 5
I remember
second...
seeing him, and I remember just being like, I shrugged my shoulders, and I was like, dude, I don't know. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't...
Right.
It just blew up so fast because kids can't keep their emotions in check, going back to what you were saying. That's it. There's a way to handle that. It's like the Instapot that my wife cooks with. That thing builds up pressure, but they got a little tab on there to slowly let the pressure out. Don't let it build up. Talk to somebody. My goodness, there's perfectly capable ways of handling it. Let music, let Johnny Cash soothe it away, pray. There's plenty of things you can do. Do something, physical exercise, absolutely. So don't end up like me. That was embarrassing. Okay. Number one problem we face today, in your opinion, is what?
Oh, there's so many. I put hopelessness.
Okay.
I meet so many people in teaching. I teach a 2-hour suicide intervention training. I teach a 16-hour suicide intervention training. We're nonprofit co-director, youth group leader. I'm around teenagers a lot. I'm around people struggling with mental health a lot. And I'm not a counselor or therapist. I don't have the letters after my name or the piece of paper. I have a master's in life, is what I like to tell people. But just the level of hopelessness in people. There's just a lot of sad people that really, I can never, it's going to be like this forever. You got to lovingly help them take little steps.
Yeah.
Okay, can you get off the couch today? Can you maybe try to take a shower today? Is there one thing you enjoy? Because I mean, a lot of people, man, you listen to their story and you're like, ooh.
They're pretty down.
Yikes, there's not a lot of hope there. So we always want to nudge them towards Jesus. But you also got to pay your rent and eat food, and he doesn't just drop money from the sky.
Yep.
So the amount of people just, and hopelessness, if you're listening to this, don't think, oh, that's just those poor people or people that look different than there's people in hopelessness that might be your star quarterback at your
look
school.
like they got it all together.
Or Emma Benoit from Louisiana, who's kind of the voice of suicide prevention in the U.S., female version, who was a 16-year-old female blonde model cheerleader that most people would look at and go, I want to be her.
Yep.
Well, Emma didn't want to be alive.
Yep.
So don't think hopeless is homeless and poor and this and parents are divorced. No, people can be hopeless. Perfect house and they live in the nicest part of town and this kid's a 4.0.
Yeah.
So don't go by old stereotypes on that.
That's right. Everybody's got issues, no matter what it looks like.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. Number one thing we got going for us. Let's go the opposite direction.
Well, it's obviously Jesus, but I'm getting a little preachy. So Jesus for sure.
Okay.
And then we'll go, there's still good people in this world.
Absolutely.
I can sometimes get caught up in, man, alive and running, we got to do all this stuff, and Nesbit and Belmer and our families and Bubba, and we got all these people, and there's good people, but sometimes I still get caught in, are we the only ones? And then like the next day I'll meet somebody awesome that I had nothing to do with.
Lifts you up a little bit.
So there are good people at the right time. That's why I like meeting so many people, because then you got this bigger circle in life.
Sure.
That'll take care of you. So there is still good. There are still good people, but sometimes I get worn down on it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, ooh.
See, and part of that comes back, like, I know exactly what you mean. That encouragement comes at just the right time. But when you talk about people being hopeless and this kind of goes in line with that, like, sometimes people need to be shown this is what the light at the end of the tunnel could look like for you. You know what I mean? If you're going to be on the internet, you're going to be on social media, why not look for something that's going to build you up and encourage you rather than the same stuff that's got you getting down? Because when you hear a story of somebody who's been there, done that, and here they've made it through, consume that. Take 20 minutes, watch their testimony. Don't just keep watching, keep scrolling and consuming the same stuff. There's tons of stories of God redeeming people, restoring people, bringing healing. Listen to Ryan's story. There's tons of them out there. You just got to go look for them or get in touch with guys like us that'll point you in the right direction. God can do amazing things even if you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's there. You just need a little bit of help to see it and see what the end result can be. You can get through anything with the Lord. I promise you that. That's a promise. He promises us that. I shouldn't say I promise you that. Okay, that's good. Yeah. All right, let's do this one. This one's for Missy. One thing you love or appreciate about your spouse.
I love that you keep calling her Missy. I'll make sure she...
Melissa. I always say Melissa. I hear you say Missy a lot. So
now you're going to get me in trouble. Now it's officially Melissa, but when I fell in love with her, it was Missy. At some point in time, it changed.
I always said Melissa, but...
I think we're going with Melissa, but you've said Missy 3 times today, and every time I'm laughing so hard on the inside.
I'm going to go back and edit them out.
I'm going to get slapped. But it might change like when we hit 50 or something. She'll be like, I want to go back to teenage Missy. And I'll be like, I guess my wife's name is Missy now.
Oh, my goodness.
Missy, Melissa, whatever. Her last name's Nesbit. And
I'm
she's
going
my
with
wife,
Melissa from now on.
I wrote kind of we're going with a sappy one. Maybe she shouldn't listen to this because she'll be like, oh, you really are the best. Yeah, whatever.
Valentine's Day's coming up. Make it a good one.
I used to make fun of people, and this is why when I was married, I've been married 22 years to her, and we'll be married till one of us dies. If I die first, it's already written down. There has to be a mandatory 1 year act like you're sad period, and then she can go remarry. And I used to have a list of names of who that would be, but
potential suitors. Oh my goodness!
I should probably revisit people near 50, my age, that have like gotten divorced, so they've done.
Oh, they're out now. Yeah.
But I used to make fun of couples at their weddings, or that would be like, I married my best friend. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, that's so stupid. My best friend is Matt Hopple or something.
Okay, yeah.
And I think growing, maybe past 15-year marriage, I started to realize, man, she is my best friend.
Oh.
So it took a while to where I would pick on people like, oh, you pansy. I married my best friend. Whatever. That's gross. But as you grow and have children and get older, who is my best friend is my wife, and now she's going to hear, there's your gift, baby.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day, Melissa.
I don't have to go spend
money.
Don't expect
chocolates.
So I hope that makes sense to people, and they're not like, oh, that's sissy, because I used to say, oh, that's so stupid, your best friend. But she is, at the end of the day, who as a human can I go, is her.
Yeah.
It's her.
Yep.
We both have faith. But I still got to talk to my wife, too.
Right.
But she ain't perfect either, like me. She,
right.
like, honey, quit staring at your phone like I'm trying to talk to you.
Oh.
And she'll do the same with me. Honey, get off the treadmill or let's go talk. But she is my best friend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, where's the Kleenex? Where's the Kleenex? Okay. That is really good. Man, guys usually do really good with that segment or that part. That question.
Good.
So you're doing good. All right. Where are you at in the Bible right now?
Ecclesiastes.
Ooh, vanity.
If you had asked me this half a year ago, I would say nowhere.
You weren't in it,
and that happens.
Yeah.
So maybe that was a New Year's resolution, which those don't usually last, of making an effort for at least a chapter a day. So some people might hear this like, oh, no chance, man. Okay, try a verse a day.
Yeah.
And some Jesus followers might be listening like, that's pathetic. Okay, well, I'm at a chapter a day.
You got to start somewhere.
Right now. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. Ecclesiastes, I think I'm going through it twice. It's just so good. I totally agree with the meaning. It starts out meaningless. Everything is meaningless, which is kind of in my flow of life with mental health. We need Jesus.
Yeah.
All this other
Everything
stuff.
else is going to let you down.
And the final verdict by the leader, whatever, Solomon or the leader, is everything is meaningless without God. But there's many nuggets in there. The seasons, there's a season for this, a season, which was like a 1960s song or something.
Okay.
I'm not going to sing. That's all
I think you just started. Wow.
My brother can sing. Two are better than one. Like that's a Bible verse I use a lot in mental health trainings.
Okay.
Two are better. You got to have somebody in your life that's going to pick you up. Sometimes that's used as like the wedding verse.
Oh, yeah.
But I use it as like, you got to have humans that when you fall down, they show up.
Yeah.
You got to have real friends, not just Facebook friends.
Yeah, those aren't real. Man, I remember when I first started hearing about that years ago, and I said something to my brother-in-law. I was like, that's not your friend, though. Like, we remember him from high school, but you guys weren't even really friends back then. Why are you friends now? Like, you want to see what this kid is doing?
Right.
And I didn't understand it all. I get it now. It's more just contacts and connections and seeing what everyone else is doing. It's still weird. Yeah, not your friend. It's weird.
I use it a lot when I teach people, and it makes some mad. But I say, imagine your own life. Something bad happens, not to the extreme of like death, but just something bad enough where you could use some support. Mm-hmm. So your Facebook friends are going to give you a thumbs up or a prayer hands. I say, who actually like comes to your house?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least calls.
Yep.
You can give thumbs up on Facebook all day. That don't do nothing.
Right.
So if you got 3,212 Facebook friends, good for you. You're popular. But when you need someone, is someone knocking at the door? Or is it just thumbs up?
Right.
That's something we really got to look at hard. Because a lot of people, when I say that, they're like, oh, he's totally describing me.
Yeah.
And they're like, I need somebody real in my life.
We're built for relationships. You said that in the first episode. Like, that's the worst thing you do is tell us, hey, you got to isolate. We are meant to be with other people for sure.
Yep.
Man. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, when I say where are you at in the Bible right now, that's, Sarah, she's going through the Bible in a year right now. I don't think she's ever done it. She's tried before. She's doing it. And like, I'm not doing it. I'm just doing devotions and studying and staying connecting with culture. And that's my Sunday school class right now. It's the Bible and culture. And I just merge the two and that's it. So I'm really not working through the Bible, but it's get in the truth of the word somehow, some way for some amount every day. It's good for you. Okay. Hidden talent or something most people don't know about you.
This is a good one. This will draw in the weirdos like me because I am way weird because I enjoy distance running and detasseling. Most people don't enjoy being out in the sun when it's 107 degree heat index, but I love it. But this one, the answer is, do you remember the movie Rain Man?
Oh, yeah.
So Tom Cruise, Dustin Hoffman,
yeah.
For the younger people listening, look it up. It's a good movie.
Good movie.
But Dustin Hoffman played a character. I'm going to do a little bit, maybe. He'd be like, yeah, definitely. But he could do numbers in his head.
Yep.
And so can I. And it's a little scary.
No! Are you on the What Is Up podcast, you're saying Ryan Nesbit has Rain Man tendencies?
We could go to Vegas and count cards, and no, I can't do it that well.
Oh.
I can do a lot of math in my head. So if you were like, what's 213 times 7? I can usually figure it out in about 3 seconds because my brain can. It's weird. To a certain level, if you start throwing in letters, algebra and stuff, then I'm like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
But adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying, I think I'm like the 99.99999 percentile of humans.
No kidding.
It gets me nowhere.
Well, yeah, it's a useless skill, I guess, for the most part, because most math we need is simple math. But that fits it right there. A hidden talent or something most people don't know about you. Wow. Right. So from now on, when I greet you and I say, hey, Rain Man, how's it going?
I'll know what you mean.
You're going to know. All right, let's do this one. This is a good one. This is the last one. If you could delete one thing from the world, if you had that power, what would it be?
Hawkeye fans.
Oh, that's not true. We're not all bad. And I grew up an LSU or Florida State fan. Then I kind of like LSU. Now I like the Hawks.
Now I got Hawkeye. Yeah, I live in Iowa and I can't stand the Hawkeyes, but that's just me. Just get back to planet reality. That's all I ask of Hawkeye fans. Too many of them are, okay, that's cute. You're 8-4, 7-5 each year. Good for you. That's who you are.
You're not competitive on the national level.
You're great at wrestling. They did just lose recently.
Yeah.
So if we're the greatest thing ever, you're talking about wrestling and women's basketball now.
Yeah.
But we should be in the college football playoff. No, you shouldn't. I assure you, you shouldn't, nor do you want to be.
Nope.
But the real answer, it's mental health struggles. If we could get rid of that, because everybody has mental health struggles. Every single person. Mm-hmm. And some it will go to the point, as it did with me, where your brain says, maybe you shouldn't be here anymore. And some it will go even further to attempting suicide.
Yeah.
And then some to this is the way you die. So if we could eliminate all these, and there's tons, anxiety, depression, all this stuff now that's kind of coming to light. Man, if that's what heaven's going to be. Mm-hmm. It'll be eliminated there.
Yeah.
So a big reason for writing that answer is if you're listening and have any sort of struggle, you got to tell somebody, whether it's call 988, which is the suicide prevention lifeline, which we recommend to everybody. Find faith, find music, find exercise, have a good buddy. If you're a teenager, have a mentor, a teacher you can talk to. Don't just keep it to yourself, because that's what I did forever. And
it didn't work out.
I was almost gone from this planet.
Yeah.
So tell somebody if you're struggling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Good one. Okay. how the turntables segment, that means if you got any of those segments or questions you wanted to ask me, I would try and answer them and do the best I can, but not everyone does that. So
I think you hit one of them, was Bible right now.
Oh,
and
okay.
you kind of explained what was going on. And I'm kind of at the same place, because if someone's listening to this, like, Nesbit only reads a chapter a day, there's devotions.
Yeah.
We do youth group. You have Sunday. We're in the Bible. But yes, in a perfect world, I would read a book a day
Right.
and fully understand it.
Right. I was thinking about doing the New Testament in a year rather than the Bible in a year.
There you go.
It frees you up, cuts your time down in half compared to the Bible. But right now, I'm just in this devotional that talks about leadership, serving, and more about like men in those roles and things, kind of like Nehemiah, stand in the gap, do what needs to be done, that kind of stuff. It's been a really good devotion. So
Good.
Really good.
What is your hidden talent?
I definitely don't have any hidden talent. The only reason I started this, I'm an open book. Like last night we had our sweetheart banquet. They asked me to MC the thing and host the newlywed game or whatever. I've always been able to talk in front of people. I don't have a fear of doing that as long as I have something to say. Like if you want me to just get up there and talk nonsense, or you invite me to do a mental health thing, I would just be making stuff up.
Right.
But you put me in a situation where I have some value to add to the conversation, or entertaining, comedy type stuff, or hosting this thing. I was like, God gave me this. Not everyone has this. Some people can't do this, and I'm going to share that with your youth group when I get there in a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
That I left there different. God was telling me, you need to do something. It might not be a youth group at your church. It might still be Awana, but you got to do something else. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't become a preacher. And I was like, well, I have this desire to preach, teach, speak, relate to people, and voila, here we are, podcast. That has to be it, I guess. So that's it. Nothing hidden with me. I'm an open book.
Well, you can do that thing with your elbow. Oh, I'm just kidding.
The thing with the fake fart sound, is that what you're talking about?
Maybe. You don't need to do it.
When did I tell you that?
People do their research, Bubba. Come on.
Oh my gosh, yes, I can do a really loud artificial fart noise into my elbow. That's it. But yeah, we're not doing it on here.
He's smiling ear to ear.
I can't believe you knew that.
What kind of play on the heaven one, when you get to heaven, not what movie, name like a Bible character that you really want to meet. Like if there is a heaven, yes, we believe there is a heaven. When you get there, we think it's this perfect place. But if you could go up to a Bible character and just sit down for like a whole day, drinking iced tea by the pond and hanging out, who are you most curious to meet, or you would be the most excited besides Jesus Christ himself?
Oh, man. Yeah, there'd be a lot of them, I guess. Joseph, for one, his brothers really did him wrong.
Yeah.
And every bad thing that happened to that guy, God was working behind the scenes to turn it into good. Amazing testimony of Joseph. How did he not lose faith? Job, same thing. How did that guy not, curse God and just throw it all up in the air? And I'd want to know, now that he knows that God allowed Satan to do all that to him, how did he feel about that? That's kind of crazy that God just said, yeah, you can do all this. But I'd also like to talk to Paul, because Paul and me relate, because, I didn't grow up in a church. I didn't have anything against Christians. I always believed in God, but I had some weird views. I just thought everyone's going to heaven as long as you don't kill somebody. And Sarah kind of set me straight. She shared the gospel with me in junior high. But, Paul was definitely trying to stop the movement of Christianity and all of that. And man, Paul had to do the 180, God really got a hold of him. Jesus specifically got a hold of him, and said, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And Paul ended up being this hero of the New Testament, wrote all these letters and all this stuff. And I just like to, I guess that'd be cool to hang out with him and be like, dude, we're kind of on the same boat. I wanted nothing to do with him. I wanted to be my own God, which to me is the main problem we have today. I want to do things my way. But yeah, Paul, I'd say all those guys for sure. I could talk to anybody, really.
Right.
But yeah, those guys would be at the top of my list for sure. The more I watch The Chosen, I guess I'd like to meet Matthew, because Matthew, tax collector, they play him up as this guy who's kind of like you, good with numbers in his head, but maybe he's in the show, he's kind of socially awkward and stuff, and he's exiled by his family because he, tax collecting for the Romans. That'd be cool too. But yeah, Peter, same thing, temper, flies off at the handle, but and then totally fails, denies Jesus, all that stuff. And God, Jesus restores him, says, nah, man, I got bigger things in store for you. And he comes through. Another just amazing story of redemption. So, yeah, I can't narrow that down. It'd be all those guys. So
there's some good characters. So if someone is listening that doesn't ever read the Bible or curious, it's not just this boring set of rules. You can find some of that, but look up one of these characters and maybe say, I'm going to take a month just to kind of learn about these three guys.
Oh, yeah.
Fascinating stories. It's an R-rated movie or more extreme in some parts of just mistake.
Oh, man, yeah. You get into, I remember I felt bad, and I, publicly repented of this in our Sunday school one time. The book of Esther. Esther sounds like this boring grandma name. You read the book of Esther, not very long. I mean, they've made it into a movie a couple different times. It is everything you'd want in a Hollywood movie, man. Right. Everything. It gives you treachery and courage and bravery and and genocide and just, oh my goodness, tremendous thing. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff people can draw encouragement from in the Bible. It is not a boring book by any means. It's not the number one selling book of all time because it's boring. Right. Okay? Don't listen to what other people are saying. Get in it. Or email us. Get a hold of us. We'll give you some tips on where to start for sure. So, all right. Any more brain busters, blindsiders for me?
That was good. I think I almost lost you with the elbow thing because your mouth was wide open.
Because I don't remember ever telling you that. I don't know how you heard that. My goodness. All right. Well, that's been fun, man. This was a good episode. We did all your fun segments. We're running just about 50 minutes, so we're going to call that good for part 2. Guys, I hope you like this. I mean, this showed you, even though Ryan is in mental health 24/7, it's good to lighten up, laugh, share your opinions and ideas, and have people you can talk to. And he just kind of lets you into his world a little bit. And Melissa, I'm sorry. If your name's not Missy, I don't know why I say it. I hear him say it, so I said it. It's Melissa. All right? But that's life, guys. That's what happens when you do life with people. It gets messy. You mess up, you step on your feet. But so if you found any of this encouraging to you or funny, think of people in your life. Share it with them. Tell them to come check out the What Is Up podcast. Tell them to follow it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, whatever you need to do. Check out our Facebook, our Instagram. We're always doing cool stuff on there. We kind of got the same goal as Ryan. We want to encourage people. That's the only reason. We are not getting rich. I mean, Ryan's looking around in my basement like, yeah, he's definitely not rich. You've got a wood-burning stove in the basement for heat. What is this, the 1800s? So we're just trying to help people. That's it. So come back for episode 3 with Ryan when we get into his What Is Up segments. And one of the main things he's wondering about is money. How can they not get ahead? Why does it seem like they can't get ahead? They both are decent wage earners or whatever. But can we get ahead? Do we need to get ahead? What's up with that? And we'll wrap it all back up with some real stuff about mental health. And hopefully that'll be encouraging to you. So I thank you guys for listening. As always, thank you for the support. Keep reaching out to us if you want to buy one of these sweet t-shirts that Ryan Nesbit's going to leave with here today for free just for coming on. Hit us up on the Facebook or Instagram or talk to one of the kids at school and we'll get you a shirt made and you can rep this podcast in one of those sweet shirts. So join us for part 3 with Ryan Nesbit when it drops in a little bit and he'll show you what is up.